What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. This is your homeboy Trey, and today we're going to talk about the Dallas Mavericks meeting up with the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at 9:30 p.m. in this NBA playoff round 2 game 1 matchup. Now, the line did open up as an over-under at 214.5, OKC minus 3.5. The line has since moved to over-under 218 and OKC minus 3.5. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at these matchups right now. All right, the Dallas Mavericks will be coming in with a lot of confidence after they took apart the Clippers in a 6-game series in the first round. All right, meanwhile, you got OKC. They've been sitting pretty for a while now, man. Just to be honest with you, they blew past the Pelicans in a sweep in the first round. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been leading the way with 27.3 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists per game. Jalen Williams coming through with 21.3, 7.3 rebounds, 5 assists per game. And Chet Holmgren, 15.3 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, and 2.3 assists. All right, now as a team, the Thunder are scoring at a total average of 105.3 points per game while shooting 48.2% from the field and 38.7% from three. Whereas when you look at the Mavericks, Luka has been leading the way with averages with 29.8 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 9.5 assists per game. Kyrie has caught fire to average 26.5 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and 4.7 assists as usual per game. Wow. PJ Washington is coming through with like 10.8 points and 5.3 rebounds per game. But at the end of the day, no other teammate is averaging double figures in scoring for these Mavericks, guys. I want you to pay attention to that. Remember that, man. Okay. So, injury report. When you look at these two teams, Luka's probable tending to that knee injury, but he is expected to impact the status of game 1, and most likely he'll be out there. I guarantee he'll be out there. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's probable, dealing with right ankle sprain, likely to suit up against the Thunder in game 1. Maxi Kleber out, and that is pivotal for this team. Okay, and I'll explain why later. Okay, Greg Brown out. Oliver Maxence Prosper out. Nobody is out for OKC, guys. Not one person's missing right now. All right, so when you're looking at these two teams and how they've been matching up in the last 10 times that they have actually seen each other on the court, and actually in the last time they seen each other on the court, because last time they seen each other was April 14th, 2024, and that was a throwaway game. OKC was giving up 19.5. Dallas really didn't care about the game, man. It was just, it was a rest game. Okay. Luka Doncic said, "I don't think it's going to get better before I get some rest." When he's talking about that right knee sprain, guys, and he said that's a lot of minutes. Maybe I can push it, but we'll see. All right, now we already know how Luka is. He's gonna play through it, but at the end of the day, do they have the firepower to match up with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Oklahoma's a young team. They got multiple defenders. They love to play defense. Dallas just started playing defense. Dallas still hasn't come to the understanding whether or not they want to play 2-man game or a 1-man game and just try to create off of one person. Heliocentric basketball, as I heard earlier the other day. You know what I mean? And to me, heliocentric basketball only works in certain systems with certain people. It works in a triangle if that individual is as gifted or as creative as certain players we've seen in the past, as well as it works right now today when you see a team that is actually built in the proper manner, fashion, and form. But we ain't going to talk about them dogs, man. We ain't going to talk about them T-Wolves. We're going to talk about tonight's game with Dallas and OKC, guys. All right, so in the last 10 times these two teams have matched up, all right, you got OKC coming through 6-4 straight up, 8-2 against the spread, 7 to the over, 3 to the under. These two teams did match up 4 times this season, and OKC won 3 of them. Dallas only won 1 of them, guys. OKC only covered in 2, and Dallas covered in 2, so that is kind of That is something to look at, especially since each covered in their away court. All right, but it went 3 to the over and 1 to the under, which is something you want to pay attention to, especially when you got a Dallas team that's coming in 4 to the over and 6 to the under in their last 10. They're 6-4 against the spread, and they're 6-4 straight up. Whereas OKC is 4-6 to the under, 7-3 straight against the spread, and 9-1 straight up in their last 10 games. Like I said, pivotal. Did you not pay attention? 4 to the over, 6 to the under in the last 10 for OKC. Dallas, 4 to the over, 6 to the under in the last 10. Okay, and when you look at the last series that these guys just got done playing, all right, the Clippers versus Dallas went over 3 times, and it was the last 3 games, whereas the first 3 games went under, guys. Just paying attention to the signs. Then you come over here and you look at OKC. In their sweep, it went 3 to the under, 1 to the over, because OKC was really trying to maintain control of the series, as well as dealing with the fact that they were playing very complacent. Okay, very, very complacent, especially when you're playing a team without Zion Williamson. I still think they would have won this series, but I am not too sure if they'd have won it in that same fashion. All right, but that's not to say or disparage anything about OKC, because I do have some good feelings about OKC. When you look at the injury report, like I told you before, you only got Luka on there and nobody for OKC. Luka will be back. He'll be probable. Hardaway Jr. is probable. Kleber's out, and that's the most important portion of this. When you look at situational trends, straight up as a home team, OKC is 35-8. I'm on the upper echelon. If you betting on them all season, you've been winning. And then if you look at our away team Dallas, they actually come in here at 27-17 straight up. But when you're looking at it as an away underdog, they're 6-13 straight up. Whereas OKC, as a home favorite, is 32-5, man. Pay attention to the signs. Vegas knows what they're doing, and I don't care what they got going on over there in Dallas. It's a live game, okay? Live game. You can't just rock with Dallas, man. You can't just rock with Kyrie. I'm trying to put y'all up on game, all right? Now, as far as against the spread, as a home favorite, okay, OKC is 24-13 against the spread, whereas as an away underdog, Dallas is 9-10. Let me say this again. Dallas is 9-10. So let's look at the rest advantage, rest disadvantage. All right, so with a rest advantage, straight up, OKC is 15-4. With a rest disadvantage, Dallas is 8-9, straight up. Then you look rest advantage, OKC is 9-1 against the spread. You might want to pay attention to this, because against the spread, Dallas is actually 10-7. All right, with a rest disadvantage. Very important when you're looking at these current situations. All right, something that you definitely want to pay attention to, even though that rest advantage, I think, plays into one of these teams' favor. But we'll get to that in a second, guys. Over under as a home favorite. Home favorite is OKC 16 to the over, 19 to the under with 2 pushes. And at Dallas as an away underdog is actually 8 to the over and 10 to the under with 1 push. All right. And playoff wise, Dallas is 3-3 over and under, whereas OKC is 1 to the over and 3 to the under, guys. Pay attention to the trends. I give you the numbers that I give you for a specific reason, so that you can understand what is going on with these teams, how they stand, what they've been doing in the last few games. And like I told you earlier, OKC is 4-6 in their last 10, 4 to the over, 6 to the under in their last 10, and Dallas is 4 to the over, 6 to the under in their last 10 as well. Now, was it because the Clippers can't score? All right, and they can't shoot? Man, might be on to something, might not, But in the last 3 games, Dallas is scoring 116 points per game, giving up 103 points per game, whereas OKC is averaging 109 points per game, giving up 88.7 points per game. Yeah, it was against the Pellies, but It don't matter, man. You play who's in front of you, and the Clippers did not have Kawhi, and for some reason Tyronn Lue wanted to run it through Zubac instead of running it through Paul George. So I can't answer that question. That's something else for the podcast, man. We'll talk about that later. But at the end of the day, as a home team, OKC on the season's averaging 122.5 points per game, giving up 109.3, whereas Dallas is only averaging 116.2 points per game and giving up 115. But Dallas is playing some of the best defense in the playoffs, whereas OKC is playing even better defense in the playoffs. They do match up, sort of, kind of, Derek Lively on Chet Holmgren, that type of stuff there. Gafford, he's out there, but it's all depending on it is coach for the Thunder gonna put Lou Dort on Luka, and even if he does, that's not really gonna stop because Luka scores on Lou Dort, he scores on Williams, he scores on whoever you put him on, man. So you got to make a decision on how strategically you're going to come out in game one and either steal this game at your own court and keep home court advantage, or you just going to lay down and toot it and boot it, man. All right, so when you come back to these two teams and just understanding them fundamentally, okay, with what's been going on, the Mavericks have won 8 of their last 9 night games. The Thunder have lost each of their last 2 Western Conference semifinal games as favorites following a win. The road team has covered the spread in 12 of their last 13 playoff games between the Mavericks and the Thunder. All right, and the Thunder has failed to cover the spread in each of their last 4 games when playing with a rest advantage. Some numbers I told y'all earlier, man. And then the Thunder have won each of the last 14 home games when playing with a rest advantage. The Mavericks have lost each of their last 9 games at Paycom Center following a home win. The Thunder have covered the spread in each of their last 7 games against the Mavericks following a win. And the Mavericks have failed to cover the spread in 6 of their last 7 games as road underdogs against Northwestern Division opponents, man. Now, I know a lot of people call this a toss-up, but you got to understand that each of the last 6 night games between the Mavericks and the Thunder have gone over the total points line, and each of the Mavericks' last 6 games at Paycom Center following a home win have gone over the total points line, guys. So what am I looking at? What do I like? What am I feeling? Well, I think I already told you in multiple ways. I do like the over. I think the defense there could be some defense play, but at the end of the day, I think fouls and foul shots and foul attempts is what going to make this game go over for multiple aspects of the game. I like the Thunder over 109.5. I like the Cavs over 106.5. Okay, and my reasoning behind that is when you look at the last 10 times that these teams have played, forgetting the last game, okay, OKC scores 126, 111, 126, 120, 114, 117, 120, 102. And then way back in 2022, they scored 86 points. But that game, Dallas did score 95 points in that win, guys. All right, my OKC did cover the 10 points. Dallas has only covered twice in the last 10 games these two teams have played each other. And at the end of the day, it's 7 to the over, 3 to the under. 106. How many times has Dallas been under 106? Let's see. Forgetting the last game, they scored 119 on March 14th. They scored 146 on February 10th. They scored 120 on December 2nd. They scored 109, okay, and on January 8th. And then in the previous year, they scored 121, 111, 114, 104, and then, of course, that low 95. So, yeah, man, this game, I like it over. I like it over. even though these two teams have been trending towards the under in their two series that they played against, I think they were playing against teams that just could not shoot. All right. Yeah, it was. Well, no, hold up. It was in Dallas's series. It was three to the over and two to the under. All right, in Dallas's series, and OKC series, it was, wow. It was three to the under and one to the over. But OKC did go over their total points on every game except for the first game. Or, I'm sorry, every game except for the last game and the first game in that series. So they went over their total points twice, guys. Um, yeah. Like I said, I do like um, Thunder over 109.5. I like Mavericks over 106.5. I think they're going to try to come out and play defense, but you're going to see some more offense out here. I like money line, Thunder. These are all my leans. I could possibly get there with Dallas if I got a couple more points. That over under 218, that is definitely a little low considering what these two teams have been doing in their last three games. Once again, in their last three games, okay, yeah, OKC's holding New Orleans to 88.7 points, but do you actually believe that they're going to hold Dallas down that low? No, you don't. Okay, Dallas is going to score a few more points than that. Okay, and I also believe that OKC is going to score a few more points than 103. It's like this is just telling it like it is, man. So this is my picks. This is my leans. More leans than anything, except for the fact that I did also put the picks that I told you in the last play, in the last video in, and I actually, I'm about to put in this ticket with Thunder, total team points over. I think that's highly doable. I think the Mavericks over 106.5 is highly doable. It's just the fact of the rest advantage and Mavericks on the road and who's going to match up with Luka. So it'll be an in-game bet. But yeah, I don't know. Why don't y'all tell me what y'all think, man? All right, y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.